Have you ever tasted ceviche? Did you know that in Peru they don't only speak Spanish? Curiosities. Today you will learn 6 curiosities that you may not have known about Peru. Number 1. Official languages. Spanish is spoken by 83% of the population and is used almost everywhere in the country, especially in the urban area along the coast. In the Andean region or highlands, Quechua is spoken, a language spoken for centuries in this region since it was the language used by the Incas. It has several variants and classical Quechua is the most recognized. In rural areas, it is still the language mother of many inhabitants as they try to preserve the indigenous cultural heritage. Currently, almost 14% of the population knows how to speak Quechua, a language that is considered an official language in addition to Spanish. Aymara is also considered an official language, used by 1.7% of the inhabitants and is spoken near Titicaca Lake. In the highlands of Puno and in the highlands of Tacna and Moquegua. Before Spanish became culturally dominant, it is believed that there were more than 150 different languages, of which 47 survive to this day and are spoken by almost 4 of the 33 million Peruvians who inhabit the territory. 43 of these languages are Amazonian while 4 are Andean. Number 2. Geographic diversity. Peru has a great diversity of geographical spaces compared to other countries in the world. There is a great variety of climates and landscapes throughout the Peruvian territory, which has 1,285,000 square kilometers. The presence of the Andes Mountains in these lands generates diverse reliefs and mountains with heights over 1968 feet. Peru also has valleys, flat surfaces marked by the passage of a river, ideal for agriculture. An example is the Urubamba Valley in the city of Cusco or the Huaraz Valley in Lima, the Peruvian capital. 60% of the territory is occupied by the jungle, where 9% of the population lives. 52% of its inhabitants live in the coastal area, where the capital of the country is located, with magnificent beaches to the south. This zone occupies 12% of the national territory. The remaining 28% is occupied by the highlands, where 39% of the Peruvian population lives. It is because of these geographical characteristics and the climate change they generate that Peru has been vulnerable to natural disasters such as earthquakes or floods. There is a climatic phenomenon known as El Niño. When the sea temperature exceeds 82 degrees Fahrenheit, the climate becomes tropicalized and manifests itself in solar radiation and rains causing major floods. Number 3. Nazca Lines. The famous Nazca Lines are a vestige of Andean archaeology. They are a series of geoglyphs, enormous figures drawn on the surface of the desert, located in the provinces of Nazca and Palpa in the region of Ica. The Nazca culture occupied this region between 200 BC and 600 AC. Among the most outstanding geoglyphs are the most naturalistic ones such as the monkey, the hummingbird, or the spider. The desert floor has a base of compact sand with a light color, covered by another layer of small darker stones. The Nazcas removed the stones from large areas, leaving the light sandy soil in view and placed the stones on the edge of the cleared area, making shapes and achieving a play of shadows that increases their contrast. There is the conviction that they were created to be seen from above, but at that time it was impossible to imagine seeing them from an aerial view, since there were obviously no airplanes or helicopters. Many hypotheses have been developed about the function of the Nazca Lines, 4 of which stand out. The first one affirms that the lines are related to roads or ceremonial routes related to religious celebrations. The second assures that they are related and aligned with astronomical events. The third interpretation relates them to a kind of mountain and water cult. The Nazcas survived in a desert with almost no rain, thanks to a marvelous hydraulic system, and the lines could be the map of this subway system. The fourth current relates it to the beliefs of the Nazcas, their supernatural world. The lines are seen as the representation of a divine pantheon or evidence of shamanic transits. Curiosities. If you were lucky enough to visit Peru, leave me your experience in the comments, subscribe and like us. A simple click helps us a lot. Thank you from the bottom of your heart. Number 4. Gastronomy. Peruvian cuisine is among the best, if not the best in the world, perhaps because of its wide variety of flavors, ingredients, and techniques. It is the result of the mixture of indigenous, Spanish, Asian, and African influences. The Peruvian gold is the potato, which originated in the Peruvian Andes. Its great capacity for preservation added to its nutritional values gave it a fundamental place in the life of the Incas. They used it to heal wounds and to alleviate pain during childbirth, as well as for food. The most emblematic dish of the country is perhaps the ceviche. If you are in Peru, you should try it. It consists of raw fish or seafood, seasoned with lots of lemon juice, chili, onion, pepper, and salt, accompanied by sweet potato and corn. You should also try the lomo salado, also a typical and exquisite dish, like almost everything you find in this wonderful gastronomy recognized worldwide. This dish offers beef sautéed with onion, yellow bell pepper, and tomato, accompanied by yellow potato and rice. Another option can be ají de gallina, a kind of creamy stew prepared with yellow chili, nuts, soaked bread, and shredded chicken, also accompanied by rice and yellow potato. Peruvian gastronomy offers many options, including dishes such as anticuchos, kiwi, cow salamena, or chifa cuisine, which mixes Peruvian and Chinese food, with exquisite dishes such as chaufa rice. It is worth mentioning that in addition to food, Peru is a land of drinks such as pisco, an alcoholic beverage that dates back to the time of the Spanish colonization and has been part of Peruvian culture ever since. It is an eau-de-vie or wine distillate, with an alcohol content of between 38% and 48%, depending on who makes it. There are many pisco-based drinks. The most recognized is the pisco sour, which also contains egg white, lemon juice, Angostura bitters, and syrup. Number 5. Inca culture. The Inca civilization was one of the most sophisticated and advanced societies of pre-Columbian America. This empire had its capital in Cusco, what is now Peru, but also extended into Ecuador, Chile, Bolivia, and parts of Argentina and Colombia. Under the leadership of Pachacutec, who is believed to have ruled in the 15th century, this small tribe that arose in a valley of Cusco managed to expand through military interventions and alliances to become the largest civilization in pre-Columbian America. They are recognized for several things, among them, its remarkable architecture with the use of perfectly fitted stones without the use of mortar, with spectacular fortress constructions such as Machu Picchu or Sacsayhuaman. They also built a very extensive network of roads that connected the entire empire, facilitating transportation. The religion of the Incas was centered on the worship of the sun god, called Inti, and the Pachamama, Mother Earth, among other minor gods. Because of the rugged geography of the Andes Mountains, the Incas devised a system of agricultural terraces that enabled them to harvest efficiently on the mountain slopes. These step structures represented a major engineering milestone and continue to be used in agriculture in the Andean region today. They grew a variety of crops, such as corn, potatoes, quinoa, and sweet potatoes. They also raised llamas and alpacas in order to obtain resources such as meat and wool. In addition, the trade system and tributes played a fundamental role in the economic sustainability of the empire. Inca society was organized in a strict hierarchy. At the top was the emperor, known as the Inca, who considered himself a descendant of the sun god, Inti. Below him were the nobility, priests, warriors, and the common people. The Inca culture left a lasting legacy in South America and remains an important part of the region's history and identity. Their architecture, agricultural systems, and engineering techniques continue to be admired and studied today. Number 6. Titicaca Lake is the highest navigable lake in the world, at an altitude of 3,812 meters above sea level. Its name comes from the Quechua words titi and caca, which together mean stone puma, reflecting the mythological figure that plays a fundamental role in local beliefs. According to Inca legend, the god Viracocha emerged from the depths of the lake to create the world. It is also said that the first Incas, Manco Capac and Mama Oclo, emerged from the waters of Titicaca to found the Inca civilization. It is home to the Uros, an indigenous community that has lived on floating islands made of tot ora, an aquatic plant, for centuries. These islands are kept floating in the water and serve as a home and source of sustenance for the inhabitants, who are known for their skills in building rafts and reed structures. It is home to a diversity of endemic species, including the giant Titicaca frog and diverse aquatic birds. The landscape surrounding the lake, with its high mountains and blue waters, creates a stunning backdrop for nature observation and photography. The inhabitants practice Andean terrace farming and fishing, and their dress and customs reflect a strong connection to their indigenous roots. Congratulations, Curiosapien! Now you know 8 curiosities that you might not have known about Peru before, or some details that you missed. If you liked the video, please leave your likes, subscribe, and activate the little bell to find out about the next adventure.